Today our lesson will be on comparing numbers in tables. Before we begin, I want to make sure that you have this assignment in front of you so that you're able to work out each problem with me. If you don't have a copy of the assignment, go back to your Google Drive and get your assignment from your math teacher, print it out, and then come back to this video. So go ahead and pause now. All right, so let's begin comparing numbers in tables. Number one, the table shows the type of flowers the florist has for sale. You have a table with two columns. The column on the left says flower, and the column on the right says total number. The first thing you need to know is what is the question asking you to find. The question here is which comparison of the number of flowers is true. You're going to use this information from the table to compare your numbers and write the numbers above each item from the table. So letter A, we're comparing roses, which in the table says has a total of 586. And we're comparing tulips. In the table, the total number is 307. Letter B, we're comparing lilies and pansies. So I go to the table. Lilies has 532 and pansies has 894. Letter C, we're comparing roses and daisies. Roses has 586 and daisies has 1065. Letter D, you're comparing pansies and daisies. Pansies has 894 and daisies has 1065. It's very important, boys and girls, that you copy the number correctly from the table to each label correctly. All right, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to use the greater than, less than symbols to compare the numbers that you added to your problem. So you're looking at the numbers you've written, and now you're going to compare those. So letter A, we're comparing 586 to 307. 586 is greater than 307. Letter B, 532 compared to 894. 532 is less than 894. Letter C, the number of roses, 586 compared to 1065. 586 is less than 1065. And letter D, 894 compared to 1065. 894 is less than 1065. So notice the symbols that you have written. Now you're going to compare your symbols to see which one matches the symbols that were already done for you. For example, A, are these symbols the same? No. Letter B, are these symbols the same? No. Letter C, are these symbols the same? No. Letter D, are these symbols the same? Yes, they are. Therefore, letter D is the comparison that is true. All right, moving on to number 2. The table shows the type of flowers the florist has for sale. Same table we used in number 1. First thing, what is the question asking you to find? Which comparison of the number of flowers is not true? Not being our special word. So there's going to be 3 right answers and 1 wrong answer. And on these not true questions, we're choosing the wrong, the one with an X, the one that's not true. All right, same strategies apply. So use information from the table to compare your numbers. Write the numbers above each item from the table. So go ahead and pause your video to do that. All right, let's check it together. Let's start with roses. Letter A, roses and tulips. Roses are 586, tulips are 307. Letter B, lilies and pansies, 532, and pansies are 894. Letter C, roses and daisies. Letter D, pansies and daisies. Again, it's very important that you write these numbers down correctly. All right, so the next strategy you're going to do is you're going to use your symbols. You're comparing symbols to compare the numbers that you added to your problems. Remember, you are comparing the numbers you have written. Go ahead and pause your video to write the comparison symbol between each answer choice. All right, let's check it together. Letter A, 586 is greater than 307. Notice how these comparisons are true. So we put a check. Letter B, 532 is less than 894. Notice how these comparisons are correct. So we put a check. Letter C, the number of roses, 586, is less than 1065. Notice the two symbols are not alike. So therefore, this is not true. Letter D, 894 is less than 1065, and those symbols are correct. So remember, we want the one that's not true. So the comparisons that do not match, that are not true, is letter C. Notice those symbols don't match. The comparison we did is true, but we're doing that strategy to compare the answer, to compare it to the answer choice. So the answer choice is not true. All right, number 3. The table below shows the number of each kind of fruit sold in a store during 1 year. It's the same style of table, except you have fruit and the number sold in a column. So what does the question want you to find? Which list shows the kinds of fruit sold in order from least to greatest? So remember, that's L to the G, least to greatest, smallest to largest. You're looking for the smallest number. So go to the table, put a number 1 beside the smallest number, a number 2 by the next smallest number, a number 3, and a number 4. We're putting our numbers sold in order from least to greatest. Now that we have them labeled, check your answer choices match. See which one matches your answer choices. So we're looking for cantaloupe, oranges, apples, bananas. Look at each answer choice. Cantaloupe, oranges, apples, bananas. Cantaloupe, oranges, apples, bananas. D is your answer choice. All right, number 4. The table shows the number of flowers a florist has for sale. What does the question want you to find? The question says, which list shows the flowers in order from least to greatest? So L to the G. Let's do the same strategy. On your paper, go ahead and number, just like we did on our table, number the total numbers in order from least to greatest. Go ahead and pause your video. All right, let's check your order to see if it's correct. Remember, you're looking for the smallest number. 307 is number 1. 532 is number 2. 586 is number 3. And 1065 is number 4. So the order is tulips, lilies, roses, daisies. Tulips, lilies, roses, and daisies. Go ahead and circle your answer choice. All right. Now that you've now that you've circled your answer, let's see which one is correct. That would be D. D matches your numbering. Good job, guys. All right, so I want you to pause the video now. In class, we completed this with a partner, but I want you to pause the video to complete it independently and then come right back and check it with me. Go ahead and pause now. All right, number 5. Remember all the strategies that we used. We're going to go through here. We're going to make sure you've labeled each of the items. Then you have placed your symbol between, or actually you place your symbol when you're comparing them. All right. If you didn't do these strategies, boys and girls, make sure you're doing these strategies on your work as well. Now, you decided which one of your comparison matches, and it looks like A is true. So A is true. Did you circle A? All right, let's check number 6. The table below shows the number of each kind of video game sold in a store during 1 year. So remember, what's the question asking you? Which comparison of the number of video games is true? All right, now we're going to label our item with information from the table. These numbers are a lot larger, but we can still compare them. All right, you remember what our next strategy was? Using our symbols. So you're going to go place your comparing symbol between each of these numbers. All right, and our last strategy, which one of your comparison matches the one that was already done for you? That would be letter C. So the correct answer for this one is C. This comparison is true. Great job. All right, now what you're going to do is you're going to complete questions 7 and 8 on your own. And then when you're done, you're going to upload a picture to send to your teacher so that she can see how well you did on 7 and 8 using all the strategies that I've went through today. Have a great day, guys.